the headlines. Governor Obaseki launches Let's Go to School campaign. Edo House of Assembly indicts contractor supplying equipment to Edo Broadcasting Service. Federal government begins online registration of Nigerians for COVID-19 vaccines. On business, stock exchange resumes March with 69 billion naira growth. And in sports, Vinicius Jr. rescues late points for Real Madrid in La Liga. Details of these and more after this break. I am God's Love. Orlando. Now on the news. As part of efforts to ensure compulsory basic education for kids in Edo State, the Governor, Godwin Obaseki, on Monday launched the Let's Go to School and Parents First campaigns. The idea is to ensure that all children in the state have access to free basic education. The launch followed two executive proclamations of the Governor during a stakeholders meeting with SUBEB chairman in GRA on Monday, with the theme, Improving Collaboration in the Provision of Basic Education.
So today we've come to say, we want all of you, every member of our society, every citizen of Edo State. You are all stakeholders, parents, religious leaders, professionals, law enforcement agents, everybody to join us to make sure our children go to school. Yes, Edo is a state with the least amount of out-of-school children, but that is not good enough. No child should stay at home. The reason why we're insisting that they should go to school, particularly our public schools, is that we have now changed the school system. We have now introduced Edo Best. These children are now learning when they go to school. So it's not just going to school. When they get into those classrooms, I can assure you that they will learn. They are learning. Please, please, we're begging of you, let these children have access to this education.
The Governor further assured of continuous collaboration and capacity building for teachers as part of his administration's commitment to improve the standard of education in the state.
Let me make it clear that we do not have any challenge or any problems with our teachers. The 11,000 or so teachers we have trained for Edo Best have been amazing. We have worked together, we have grown together in the last few years. They have been very supportive. But unfortunately, what you saw the last time was not the teachers. It was part of their leadership of their union that has become political and want to play politics with the lives of our children, who want to derail what we had started under Edo Best in the name of politics. And I have said that as a governor of Edo State, I am ready to fight with anybody in this state that will joke with the lives of the children.
The governor said his government is ensuring the provision of water and toilet facilities in all public schools, reassuring increased investment in all special schools in the state. High point of the event was a presentation of school kits by the governor to some of the out-of-school children who were rescued from street hawking and other activities such as child labor and child abuse. Edo State House of Assembly House Standing Committee on Information, Youth, Sport and Special Duties has submitted its report on the visits to Edo Broadcasting Service, EBS, to the House. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Francis Okiye, who submitted the report, raised issues of irregularities discovered during the visits. KUFM Libidum Asawaram was there and tells us more.
The committee, upon visitation to EBS, found out that the contractor engaged to supply equipment to the station supplied 6 kilowatt transmitter instead of 10 kilowatt in the contractual agreement. Chairman of the committee, Francis Okiye, also said attempts to convince the managing director of the company engaged to supply equipment to the station to appear before the committee were unsuccessful as the MD failed to show up. He also said lands belonging to the State Broadcasting Service have been encroached upon, and the committee recommended that the government should put machinery in place to recover the land and prosecute those found culpable. He also decried the redeployment of professional staff of EBS to ministries and engagement of contract staff to discharge their duties.
As a matter of fact, his representative that came here admitted that the supply ceased because the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation will not allow anything more than 2 kVA. The committee believed that in the wisdom of the government, they ordered for 10 kVA. So if he has to shortchange the government, it should have been through the writing. If it was not discovered by this committee, that's the way we feel the Royal Alliance company would have gotten away with it. And on the second note, Mr. Speaker, the encroachment of the land of the premises of the EBS, we have also recommended that the government should put machinery in motion to recover them and persecute those that are illegally acquiring the premises for within the enabling law of the state. And then, Mr. Speaker, on the third one, we found that larger portion of the professional staffs have been deployed out into the ministry without recognition to one, the enabling law, and two, the need to professionalize that cooperation. So these are and others are the few recommendations that we have, and subject to the confidence of the House, you can choose to adopt it or otherwise.
The Speaker of the House, Honorable Marcus Onobun, after the presentation of the report, directed that a later date should be slated for the consideration of the report.
So please take time to study the report, and clerk, please state consideration of this report for a later date.
Meanwhile, a bill for a law to establish the Edo State Mortgage Agency and regulate mortgage creation, foreclosure and enforcement of mortgages in real property and connected purposes, brought by Honorable Henry Okwarobo, scheduled for second reading, could not be debated.
I hereby urge my colleagues that, having heard of the merits it will give to Edo people, and we should join hands and in the fullness of time give this bill a quick passage. I so urge.
The Speaker also directed that the bill be slated for consideration on a later date, but that was after the majority leader, Honorable Henry Okwarobo, had kicked off debate on the bill. Lebedum Asagaram, KFM News.
Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has banned the National Union of Road Transport Workers (NURTW) and the Road Transport Employees Association of Nigeria (RTEAN) from all motor parks in the state. Both unions were warned to stop collecting dues and levies from commercial drivers in the state. They were also ordered to vacate the parks in the 18 local government areas. Senior Special Assistant on Special Duties and Strategies, Dr. Doyin Odebowale, said the ban of the drivers union was due to leadership tussles. He said new tickets will be sold directly by government officials and urged commercial drivers to revert to the old price of 50 naira per drop. Ondo is the second state in the southwest after Oyo to ban the unions. Gunmen suspected to be cultists on Monday attacked and burned down a divisional police station in Esieodim local government area of Akwa Ibom State. The incident occurred barely 1 week after some hoodlums in the same local government attacked members of the Quick Response Squad at Ikpeanang Junction and burned an inspector of police inside a police van. It was learned that the hoodlums, numbering about 100, stormed the police station in the early hours of Monday and burned the offices, including unserviceable vehicles and motorcycles at the station. There was no loss of lives during the attack by the hoodlums. The police public relations officer, Odiko Macdon, confirmed the burning down of the station, adding that investigation was still ongoing to unravel the perpetrators. Elsewhere, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has arrested 28 suspects allegedly involved in illegal oil bunkering and other crimes in Port Harcourt and other parts of Rivers State. Also, the NSCDC said its operative seized 7 trucks used in conveying stolen adulterated petroleum products and oil pipes. The commandant, NSCDC Rivers State Command, Mukhtar Lawal, disclosed this while parading the suspects and confiscated items before newsmen in Port Harcourt on Monday. Mukhtar said on 24 December 2020, suspected vandalized rail track sleepers were recovered along Kokom Kokom rail line in Uyibo local government area of the state. Among other seized items were a Mack truck containing an unspecified quantity of illegal crude oil and 2 others containing automated gas oil, AGO, otherwise known as diesel. The federal government has inaugurated a committee on enrollment of newly recruited civil servants on the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, IPPIS, to checkmate employment irregularities perpetrated by officers in ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemi Esan, who inaugurated the committee, lamented incidences of sharp practice. She noted that a large number of fake appointment letters were being discovered in some ministries, which, if not properly addressed, would lead to the denial of employment to a great number of prospective and eligible law-abiding job seekers in the country. According to her, the office is already collaborating with security agencies to investigate and bring to book those behind the nefarious and shameful practice. The Nigerian government on Monday began online registration of Nigerians interested in taking the COVID-19 vaccine. The first batch of the vaccine is expected to land in the country today. The online registration is being done by the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA. The electronic platform would enable Nigerians to get vaccinated against coronavirus pandemic as part of efforts to end the pandemic and return to normality. The Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Fasal Shuaib, said the adopted Teach strategy that birthed the online registration combined of indigenous approaches with modern technologically enabled system of vaccination. Coming up on our business news, Stock Exchange resumes March with 69 billion naira growth. Details in a moment.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 600 billion, and the last kobo. Oh yes, we follow the money. It's all about the business and the business of business. The gains and the losses. The bulls and bears. The rise and falls. The risk and the satisfaction of seeing the last kobo rise to millions. On KUFM's Business News, the simple and complex jargons of business just make sense. Get the trending news on the morning market, forecasts, investment opportunities, policy changes, and other breakout information on the ever-busy world of business. KU Business News, Monday to Friday on our news dawn, 6:30 to 7 a.m.
And talking business, activities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange commenced on Monday with an upbeat trend. The market capitalization increased by 65 billion naira or 0.33% to close at 20.892 trillion naira from 20.823 trillion naira posted on Friday. Also, the NSE All-Share Index, which opened the month of March at 39,799.89, rose by 131.74 points or 0.33% to close at 39,931.63. Consequently, the month-to-date return settled at 0.3%, while the year-to-date loss moderated to 0.8%. The uptrend was also driven by price appreciation in medium and large capitalized stocks, amongst which are UACN, ICO Insurance, Veritas Capital Insurance, Boa Cement, and IMS International Pharmaceuticals. Analysts at Afrivest expected that earnings released and dividends declaration will influence trading activity in spite of weak investor sentiment. UACN dominated the gainers chart in percentage terms with 6.67% to close at 8 naira per share. On the other hand, Nascon led the losers chart in percentage terms, losing 9.97% to close at 14 naira 45 kobo per share. And finally, in business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says it has defended the naira in 6 months with $10.3 billion intervention in the interbanking foreign exchange market, its half-year report has shown. The naira dipped to 429 naira 75 kobo per dollar on the investors and exporters window at last week's trading sessions, depreciation from around 410 per dollar at the official CBN rate of 379 naira per dollar. It exchanged at 482 kobo per dollar at the parallel market on Friday. The local currency's depreciation at INE window has, however, continued to narrow rate gaps. According to the report signed by CBN Deputy Governor, Economic Policy Kingsley Obiora, the Apex Bank's intervention in the interbank foreign exchange market was to cushion demand pressures and ensure exchange rate stability. And that's it on business. And now in sports, where Vinicius Jr. rescues late points for Real Madrid in La Liga. Details in a moment. And on our sport news this morning, Vinicius Jr. marked his 100th Real Madrid appearance with a late equalizer against Real Sociedad in La Liga at the Santiago Bernabeu on Monday evening. The hosts dominated the first half with Mariano and Rafael Varane heading off the bar in the space of 2 minutes. Real Sociedad were much improved after the break.